Okay, so today we are discussing about the components. So components are nothing but the basic building block of AEM website. So consider now you are going to make one website. So like here, this is the website we have, and inside this website here you want a header. Okay, and after that here at the bottom at side you want a footer, and after that here we have a body. This is the left hand side panel, and here you want some text and image, and again here you want some text. Okay, so these are nothing but the components only. These are nothing but your components, and this is your website. So this website is also nothing but your page component. So this is your page component, and here we have a header component. Bottom we can say it's a footer component. Okay, so somewhere this is the side panel, and here we have an image, and this one is nothing but your description, or it may be a text. Okay, so what we have done here is, like in header we have written some logic, that means some scripting we have written it inside this footer. Here I said like here we have an image component, so this is just simple and component. In future we are going to add here image. Okay, so this is nothing but the content only. After that here we have a text. Okay, so this is the text component, and in future or now we are going to add here component, that means some text we are going to add it. So like we can say these components containing some meaningful information. Okay, and component is a building block of page, building block of website. So for making one website we need a component. Without component we cannot create our websites. Okay, that's the logic. And second thing, you can easily drag and drop it. So we already knows that if this is your website, inside this website here we have one component, that is parsys component. Okay, we can say this component is nothing but the parsys component. Okay, and parsys component, it allows you to insert more than one component. So here when you will click here you will get the options of the plus, and using that you can add more than one component in your websites. Okay, this is the thing. And once you have created a component, you can reuse in a multiple modules, that means in a multiple website or in multiple pages you can reuse the same components. Okay, and inside that component it has some specific logic, so application related logic is there. Okay, and this logic will render to your website. That's it. So this is the website I have, and inside this website now I'm just going to add here some text component I'm adding. So inside this text component maybe we have some meaningful information, that means some content we have here. First title we have, and later that we have a description. So this is nothing but your information only. So this information it has rendering through this component to your website, in this website. Okay, after that it's a collections of script. Collections of script means when you will create a component. Okay, like consider now inside my project now I'm going to create one normal component. Okay, so consider this is your component folder. Inside that I'm creating a component. So once you will create, like consider I'm just title component I'm creating. So once you will create this title component, automatically one title.jsp will create. When you will create a title component, automatically this title.jsp will also create. Okay, so this is nothing but the script. You can write more than one script inside this title.jsp. Okay, but see this is the wrong. We have to automatically it will generate this title.jsp, but we have to rename this title.jsp to title.html. Okay, and why we are doing this one? Okay, why we are removing this JSP? So that things we'll discuss later, because in future we are going to discuss the HTML concept as well, but shortly I'll explain. Like in a HTML, so this is my HTML. Okay, this is nothing but the scripting language, so it's a markup language. This is nothing but the markup language, and this one .jsp is your Java language. So a lot of people they only knows the front end. Okay, that means HTML they knows that. Okay, and it's very easy, but JSP, when we are saying the JSP, it's very complicated, and inside that here we have to write the business logic, Okay, business and scripting logic we have to write inside the JSP only, but here they have separated that presentation logic and the business logic, they have separated. Okay, and another thing, one language is there. AEM has introduces one language, that is HTL. Okay, one language we have, that is HTL, and this language only support to your HTML. So once you have renaming anything like this title.jsp to this title.html, then if you have this .html extension, then you can use this HTML language. Okay, and it's very easy, this one, and it's very flexible as compared to the JSP. So this language is only embedded with HTML, not with this JSP. So that's why we are focusing on this .html mostly. Okay, but still we have a lot of components. We can say that foundation or the legacy component, they are still using this .jsp, that we'll discuss later. So what I'm saying is, here title.html will automatically create. So once it will create, we'll write the scripting there. So that's why it is saying like it is a collections of script. Okay, and second one is a modular and the reusable unit. So you can reuse in any website or in any pages. Okay, and basically we have two types. We have two types of component. Firstly, it's a core component, and second one is a foundation. So what does it mean by the core? But before that, we'll discuss these two component. It is a part of this WCM component only, website content management. So these two component, it's part of this WCM component only. And why we discuss this WCM? So component that we use for website development in AEM, either customized component, that means it is saying like, so in two ways we can create a component. So first one, you can create your customized component, that means you have to take the efforts and you have to create a components. Okay, and second one, here we have a OOTB, that means out of the box components. Okay, so that means AEM has already created this component, you just simply have to reuse it. Okay, so you just simply have to reuse it, otherwise you can create your own custom component. So it's take a lot of time for creating your own custom components. Okay, and these two component is nothing but your website content management. So these two components creation are known as a website content management. Okay, component. And after that, why we are using this WCM? So if you want to speed up, okay, if you want to speed up to create your components for your WCM website. So we have a website, and this is a WCM website for creating. Okay, so for creating this website, we have to first of all create a component. Okay, and this component we have to create speedily. Okay, if you want the speed, the process of speed, then you can simply use this WCM component. That's it. Here we have a core components and the foundation component. Firstly, it was introduced this foundation component, and after that they have introduced this core component. Why? Because in a foundation component, it has some drawback. Just like firstly, it is a legacy, or you can say it's a old component. That's it. Business logic plays inline in JSP as a scriptlet. So I have already told you. So this foundation, nowadays when we will create any component, so by default it will generate .jsp. Okay, so we'll replace from JSP to HTML. Okay, but this foundation component entirely created based on this JSP. Okay, based on the JSP they have created this foundation. Okay, but we have a HTML component as well in a JSP. Okay, so it's not support to the latest functionality, just like a touch UI. So we have two graphical user interface in our AEM, touch and the classic. So touch is the new one. Okay, and the classic we have, the classic is the old one. This is the old interface. So it's your foundation component will not support to this latest touch UI. And after that, here we have a concept of the editable template that we have already discussed. So it's not support to this editable template as well. Okay, and after that, now here we have version 1, version 2, and if it has some drawback in the version 1, then we'll use this version 2. If it has drawback in the version 2, then we'll use version 3. So these types of functionality is also not present in your foundation component. So versioning of a component not available. Yeah. And here we have a core component. So all this drawback it has covered by this core component, so that's why we are using it. So firstly, it was introduced in 6.2, but it has strongly recommended to use from AEM 6.3. Okay, but they have introduced it in 6.2, but still it has some drawbacks. Okay, so that's why you can use from this 6.3. Okay, so the main purpose of this core component is to, it is a secure, firstly it is a robust second host. Okay, secondly it has a robust, third one is the versionable, we have a version, and we are using a latest technology. So secure, that means we have one HTL language, HTL. Okay, and this HTL will write in HTML. Okay, and if you have made your website and when you are going in a browser, and if you are right clicking and after that you are viewing the source, then you can see all the codes. Okay, and comment as well. Okay, but if you are comment out in a HTML, so you can't see this comment out in your browser. Okay, so that's why it is secure, and it has a robust as well. Okay, versionable, and we can use the latest technologies. But where your foundation and core components store? So firstly, your core component will store inside your apps folder. So this is the structure. Okay, this is the repository. It's stored firstly in the apps, later that we have cores, WCM, and the component. Okay, and foundation component, just like here you see, firstly in this repository a component has created entirely based on this JSP, Java Server Pages. Okay, leaves foundation and the component. And second one, these are, we can say these are the latest component, but it is a part of the foundation only. Okay, so this component it has stored inside this leaves, WCM, and the foundation and component. So some of the thing it has created by using this JSP, and some of the things it has created by using this HTL and this JS. Okay, so we'll see the path now. Come here, here we have apps and this core, and after that here we have a WCM, later that here we have a components. Okay, and inside this component you will see the latest components. See, these are the latest components. Okay, and after that the old components, that means legacy. So where we can find inside this libs. Okay, libs have a foundation. Okay, foundation have components, and this component have all your components. See, some of the things has deprecated, and is getting deprecate now, everything is getting deprecate. Okay, so this thing, after that here we have a WCM as well. These are the new WCM, and here we have a foundation, and these are the component. So this one it has created by using a HTL, okay, sorry, by using a HTML and by using a JS. So here you see the extension .html and .js. Okay, but when you will go in a JSP component, so you will see the JSP extension. So where it is, foundation components, just open this one, open anything instead of that. See here, image.jsp we have, this is a JSP we have, that means this component it has created using a JSP, and in a WCM it has created by using a HTML, or you can say by using a JS. Okay, this is the thing. Now how we can create a component? For creating a component you need first of all a project, so that we have already created. Here you see, this is a search software folder, and here we have one folder, that is component. You can create a component inside. So right click simply, and here you just simply have to create. Okay, and you can create a component. Here we have options of the component, you can just simply create it. So now I'm just creating like a sample component, sample dash demo. This is the component I'm creating. sample demo, or you can say it is a text component. Okay, text, but text we already have, so that's why I'm just writing here component, text component. Okay, this is text component, that's it. After that, now it is saying like you want to extend this component, that means you want to create a customized component, or you want to use the out of the box things. So if you want to use the out of the box, then we have a super type. You just simply have to copy. Now we have a two options. You can take from the core. Okay, that means you can use advanced technologies. Okay, advanced things you can use it by using this core. So I'm just simply coming here, and I just need a text component, so you can just simply open it. And here I have already told you like version able we can also get it. So here you see we have a version as well, so I'm using a latest one. Don't take this one. Like when you will click here, what we need a component. Okay, and this is the folder. See the type, this is the primary type, and this is just sling folder. Okay, it is not a component. But when I just click here in this text, so you will see like this text is nothing but your CQ components. So you have to copy this path. Simply copy where you want to create. So here, so right click, create, and here we have a create components. You can just simply paste it. And here we have to, no need to mention the absolute path here. Okay, because your sling already knows that. So if it's not present this apps, so it knows that already this path it has already knows. So that's why you don't need to mention this path. Okay, and this one is the main, like where you want to store your components. Okay, or where you want to organize. So I just want to create or store my component inside this group. Okay, so here I'm just mentioning like search group. So this is my component. So next, and just click OK. So now we have created, we have to save. Okay, first of all we have saved, and later that we have to change from this JSP to .html. Okay, and it is a collections of script we have already discussed. Here you see this is the script we have. Instead of that, in heading format, H1 format, I am writing okay, there is a name I have defined it. So here only I have written only one statement. Okay, and here you see, so all your data, your component related things, it will store in the form of properties. Okay, and this is also a node. Okay, this component is nothing but the node only, and we knows that our JCR Java content repository store the data in the form of nodes only, and this node store the data in the form of properties. And here we have a property, it is storing the data in the form of key and the value. So you are seeing already like we have defined a description there. So this description it is storing in the form of properties. After that, here we have a title and this sling resource super type. Okay, so that means we can say like this is the text component, it has inheriting this parent component. Here you see this is nothing but your parent component. Yeah, and this parent, okay, so this text component it has taking the reference from this parent. Okay, so now how we can use this component, or where we can see this statement, this HTML. So you can just simply come to your website. We know that we use a component for creating a website. So we have to come here inside this sites, here US and this EN. I am just simply opening it. Okay, so once you will open, here we have options of persist. So by using that we can insert more than one component. So click here and just insert it. But now if I try to search what is my text component, so I am not seeing it. What title we have defined here? Text component, no? See, this is the title I have defined. When I just try to search it, I am not getting this text component. Why? Because we haven't given a permission to our group. So we have to give the permission first of all. So come here, page information. here we have options of the editable template. We have to go there. Okay, so this editable template policy structure it has open. That means this is nothing but the editable template only. So it has open. Now we have to give a permission to our group, so we can add our component. So just simply click here, and here we have options of the policies. We have already discussed yesterday. So you have to give a permission to your particular component. So click in this policy. So it will open the policies. And what's the name of our group? So our group name is search group. Okay, so you have to search here, search group somewhere. See, this is the search group, and inside that we have only one component. So you have to click here and just simply finish it. Come here and just try to refresh it. Okay, so it has refreshed. Now just come here, insert, and again you have to search text component. See, now we are getting our text component. So just simply click here. So once you will click here, we are getting our title. That means this is the whatever we have written in our components, we are just rendering here. So how it is rendering? So firstly here you see it will come here. Okay, see, the first thing, like this is your component. Okay, so this component, when you will write some content inside it, so automatically it will store in your content. So just try to refresh it. Okay, and it has already created a folder structure. Now here you see this is my EN page, and here inside this EN, here we have a content, search software folder, US, and after that here I have a EN. Okay, and inside this EN I have added this component. So same hierarchy we have to follow. You simply come here. Here we have a content have a search software folder, later that US, and here we have a EN, and inside that we have added a components. So your sling will execute like this. Okay, so here this is the text component we have. Refresh simply. So this is the hierarchy, and the same hierarchy I have opened it in a CRXD. So after that, once your sling will execute everything, it will come in this text component. After that, it will see this sling resource type. I am just telling how this code it has executed. So first of all, your sling will follow this hierarchy. After that, it will come inside this text component. Once it has came, it will see this sling resource type. Okay, so here, so inside this sling resource type we have this value. So your sling will hold this value, and after that it will try to find out. So search software folder we have. After that we have component and the text component. So it will directly go to your apps. Okay, and inside these apps it will try to see this search software folder. So where it is, firstly I am just closing all this up. Okay, search software folder we have. Later that here we have a component, and after that it will see like text component. Where it is, yeah, this is the text component we have, and automatically see this name and this scripting name should be same, must be same, otherwise this statement, this scripting will not execute. Okay, if this both name will same, so after that this text component it will automatically execute. So now again I am just writing. Okay, just like the same, you can just simply copy and paste it here. Save the changes, come here and just try to refresh it. Now here you see, so heading H1 is a big one, H4 is the small one. Okay, so like that way it has printing. So if you don't want to refer it, like when I'm just clicking here, here you see here we have a sling colon resource super type, you don't want it. Okay, so you can just simply copy all the code from here. Okay, so now we need a text component, so this is the component we needed. You can just simply copy this all the stuff, copy, simply come here and you can just simply paste it. Okay, so we have copy. Now we have to rename this. We can say this is the custom component. See, now we are creating our component by own. See, you can create, for that you have to create all this stuff like this CQ design dialog, CQ dialog, CQ edit config, all the stuff you have to create by yourself. But you can just simply, if whenever you want to create a custom component, you can just they have already written it, you can just simply copy from here, and some changes if you want to make, if you want to make it, you can make. Okay, so I have already told you, like when you will rename this one, so this name all should be same, so we have to rename this one, and here we have a custom component we have written it. Now this whatever code we have, this code will execute. Okay, and custom components, so this is the custom component. Inside that, here we have a component group, so you can change it. So we know that we have a search something, where it is text we have, no, click here, this is the component search dash group, come up, click here, and after that instead of that we have to change, save it. Now come here, refresh it. For our component, see, this one is our component previously we have created. So you are saying here this is nothing but your edit config. So this black option, and it has lot of options, this is nothing but the edit config. When you will click here, so you are saying this dialog, so this is nothing but the CQ dialog. Okay, so here right now we have a text component, this is the text component we have. So all this thing, it has coming from this core component, from this text. Okay, from this text it has coming all this stuff. So now just go in the core, here we have a text, and this text have a v2, and you will see here edit config, here we have a CQ dialog, here we have a CQ design dialog, and here we have some script. So all these things, it has coming from your core component. But now what we have done here is, all the core component we have copied inside this custom component. So just come here, and we have to close this. Okay, so we don't know the name actually. Click here, and what's the name of our component? That is text v2. Yeah, here you see. So component, this is the text v2 component we have added inside this search group, so that's why it is coming here. Okay, so once I have clicked here, so here it is showing all these CQ dialog options. See, this edit config option it is showing. So when I'm just clicking here, it has opening this CQ dialog as well. So how it has all this stuff it is executing. So we have directly copied, and here we have a CQ dialog, this CQ edit config and everything. So that's why we are rendering, or we are getting this all the stuffs. Just try to add something inside this here as well, and just right check mark it. So you will see whatever you will write in this CQ dialog, all these things you are getting here. Okay, so that things we'll discuss tomorrow.